Hey everyone, Dylan Bonk here with Rowers North. Today we're going to be talking about our Rowers North heavy duty steering rod set for Discovery 2. As you can see, it comes with a drag link, a track rod, tie rods, and all new hardware. This kit comes with a great powder coat finish that has superior rust protection. If you've ever been off-roading your Land Rover, then you're well aware how open the steering rods are to rocks and logs. These heavy duty rods will keep you from getting stranded on the trails. One thing to note when installing these tie rods is that 2 are left-hand thread and 2 are right-hand thread. You can distinguish this by looking at the part number. It'll either end with an L or an R. You want to ensure that you have 1 left and 1 right on each rod. Alright, let's get started.
The first step is to get your Discovery off the ground. Once in the air, secure your vehicle with jack stands. You are then going to want to remove the 2 front tires. Begin to remove the nuts from your drag link tie rods. From there, you're going to unbolt your steering dipper from the drag link. It's important to remember when removing any bolt that you don't damage the thread. That's why we recommend putting the nut back on the bolt before you knock it out. Make sure the steering damper is totally free of the drag link. Loosen the nut on the other side of the drag link, but don't take it off entirely. You will then need to knock the tie rod loose. This can be achieved by hitting the steering knuckle with a hammer. Repeat this process on the other tie rod. You can now remove the nut and take off the drag link. Begin taking off the rear track rod by loosening the nuts on the tie rod. Tap out the steering knuckle to pop out the tie rod. Repeat this process on the other tie rod and then remove the track rod. Once you have both rods free, lay them on the table next to the new heavy duty rods. You are then going to want to adjust the new rods so they match the original rods exactly. It's very important that the steering damper brackets line up. You will then want to adjust each tie rod so the 2 rods line up. Ideally, you want to keep the tie rod's thread as equally spaced as possible. Once you have adjusted your drag link to the correct length, you will then want to loosely fit it into place by lightly screwing on the tie rod nuts. Loosely reattach the steering damper to the drag link. Apply downward pressure to the drag link on the passenger side and then begin to fully tighten the tie rod nuts. You can use a pry bar to apply upward pressure on the driver's side drag link while tightening the nuts. Once the tie rods are tight, tighten the steering damper. You will then want to tighten the 2 drag link lock nuts. Begin putting in the track rod. It's important to note that you can only adjust the left steering knuckle at this point, so make sure you insert the right tie rod first. Once the track rod is in place, begin tightening down the tie rod nuts on one side. Make sure the wheel hubs look straight and then tighten down the tie rod nut while applying pressure to the track rod. Repeat this process on the other tie rod. Once the tie rods are tightened down, once again tighten the track rod lock nuts all the way on either side. Your new heavy-duty steering set is now installed, and you can begin to put your wheels back on. It's important to remember when tightening your wheel nuts to do so in a star pattern. You will then want to use a torque wrench to ensure that you're at the correct torque specs for your wheels. Your wheel alignment should be relatively close, however, we recommend that you bring your Discovery to an alignment shop to have it fully dialed in. Thank you for watching. Please leave any questions you have in the comment section and feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.